All right, good morning. So we're up to Siman Reish Hey Halacha Gimel. We're going to cover today interesting halachas, halva, chalva, and coconut, crushed coconut, all these sort of things. Give you an appetite for breakfast. So the Mechaber says in Gimel, Im Sochdan, Einoi Mevorich al Oisum Mashkim El Shahakol. Imagine you've got an aubergine or one of these vegetables we were talking about yesterday, and you just squeeze it, and liquid comes out. Says the Mechaber, on that you make Shahakol. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Sifkot and Yudalad, Im Sochdan, the Yoser Yoitze Tam Hayerek Haladei Bishul Haladei Schita. Yesterday we said that if you boil these vegetables and there's a liquid, and from that you drink the liquid, then the liquid has the status of the vegetable and you make a ber pradoma. But that's because more tam comes out through bishul than through schita. If you just squeeze like an aubergine, a courgette or something, and some liquid comes out, the Mechaber says you make a shahakol. V'lochein afilu b'perish darka l'mischetinu gam kein birchos and shahakol. V'afilim koshem nami din hoch. Even if you crush them, the din will be the same, and you would make a shahakol. Okay, dalet. So we're up to reish hey dalet. Says the Mechaber, Chatochon, this is your case, Yossi. Chatochon lechatichas katanas. You cut them into small pieces. Loi nishtana birchason mipnei kach. So it could be, yours was dried, right? But in other words, if it was a whole dried pear, pineapple, you'd agree that you make a berpradoma, a berprais for a pear. Good. But if you cut them into small pieces, loi nishtana birchosechem mipnei kach. It doesn't, just because it's in small pieces, you might not be able to recognize them. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Sifkot and Tezvav, Kiven shenikar. Look, you're right. Look what the Mishnah Berurah says. Kiven shenikar adayin ta'aron v'tzurason b'mixas, because in some shape or form you can recognize the fruit, and therefore you still make the same bracha. V'ayin le'el siman reish beis sif zayin b'morgan Avram sifkot and yuches v'lekam b'siman reish ches sif kifkot and lamet ches b'Mishnah Berurah birchason bein dava shebirchason berpradoma or berproetz, whatever it is. If it's an apple and you cut it in small pieces, you would still make a berproetz. If it was a banana, pineapple, hadoma, etc., then you would still make, even if it was cut in small pieces, you would still make a berpradoma. B'pnei kach. Now, here we're going to get on to chalva. If you've got sesame, which is crushed, which is grinded, then when you crush something and you pulverize it, you make it into almost like a powder, then you make a shahakol. It changes its bracha from a hadoma to a shahakol, because now it's totally changed. You still make a beradoma. Unless you make them into some sort of liquid, then you make a shahakol. Now, if you look at note 26, which is at the back of the Sefer, 26.
43.
26. Page 43, yeah. Yeah.
No.
What? Have you got 26?
No.
I think there's actually a mistake. I think it should be 25. Oh no, sorry, it's here. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. This is on a different one. Look, 26 is here, it's on the page. Yeah, it's on the back, it's on the page. So he says, Legabi Chalva, he says, take a look at Reish Gimel, Sifkot and Yud Gimel, right? Now, I'll read it for you, you don't have to go to that footnote. But back on that, there was a long footnote. Remember we spoke about it, the bracha for chocolate and things like that. The minhag is to make shahakol. So he says at the bottom of that long footnote, this is footnote number 19. He says, Lo inyan chalva ha'asuya mishumshum, which is made from sesame. Hayra gon Shlomo Zalman Orach shebirchasa shahakol. Right, so you make on chalva, even though it's sesame, which is a nut, you make shahakol. Sha'afim ne'emesh ha'shumshum nitay aldas l'ris l'roskom. Even though you could say it was planted in order to be crushed to make chalva. Dava chadashu. This is a new creation. Ve'ein nika klal shu b'mashimshum. When you eat a piece of chalva, you can't identify this came from sesame. Most people perhaps don't know that. Ve'im al shokolat haminig levarich alav shahakol af shenika yoseh sheba mikokoi, from, even though chocolate, which comes from cocoa beans, and there's more. If you did a survey, you ask 100 people, where does chocolate come from? They'll tell you cocoa beans. If you ask them where does chalva come from, I don't think as many people will know that it's sesame. And if it comes to chocolate, you make a shahakol. The nital daskach, and chocolate was planted for that. Kolshkein bezeh, how much more so for this? etc. The same is true, he says here, regarding soya. Now that's very interesting. Soya, you can make anything. You can make schnitzels, and you can make who knows what from soya. Even though it comes from a soya plant, from a bean, nonetheless you still make a bracha of shahakal on it. Okay, and therefore, when it comes to what we said over here is you cut up fruit in small pieces, since they're it's still clear, it's nikar, it's recognizable which fruit they came from, or vegetable, you would make the relevant bracha, ha'etz or hadama. And however, if you crush it properly and you make something else, so for example, chalva, then that changes the bracha, and you would make shahakal on chalva. Interestingly, he says in footnote 26, he says in the next paragraph, what about coconuts? Ugos kokos. Kokos is coconut. Hasuyas mikokos tochon, which is made from ground coconuts. Das hagonim el yashav, hagonim shlem zaman arbach, both brought in v'zos habracha. Shebrichosen shehakol, b'pnei she'ein nikar bohem pri. V'chein das hagonim shlem zaman lenyan mamtzik cookers with a sweet made from coconut. Okay, so if you grind coconut to like a powder and you make a cake with that, or you make something with that, then it will have the bracha of shehakol. Which, by the way, on Pesach, that's relevant. For those who don't brach, who don't eat brachs, they don't make a mazonas because it's not matzah meal. They're going to make potato flour, but potato flour is crushed so much it's no longer potato, and you make a cake with that. It's shahakal. Okay, good. Let's just finish off this simon. Hey, halefes. Halefes is normally translated as some sort of turnip. Kashehu chai, when it's raw, mevarich alov shahakal. So if you were to eat a raw turnip, you make a shahakal, but if you cook it, you pickle it somehow with vinegar or mustard, then you make a ber priadoma. Says the Mishnah Berurah, a lefes is better cooked than it is raw. Now he translates merin and ribbon as either gezer or lefes. Now gezer is a carrot, so it would seem from this machaba that on a raw carrot you make shahakal. But before you go away and make brachas, let's see. Va'ayim Mogen Avram shemafak b'bedin zed. Mogen Avram questions this. Va'ayim betur shemevi gamkein sheish ga'inim shesoivim levarech alav ber priadoma. Al chai ber priadoma. You make a ber priadoma even on raw things. Va'ayim b'chai adam shekosav the tolim derech b'nei adam b'osim makom la'achim chayin. Va'ayim b'nishmas adam sheich v'zeh. So he says the chai adam says it depends very much on the minhag hamakom. In footnote 27, he says l'maisa, what do you do? What bracha do you make on raw carrots? So he quotes the Igros Moshe. He says, "Kivin shahaderech bismanenu lechal es hagezek k'shul chai." It's very normal, very common to eat carrots raw nowadays. Mevarchin alav ber priadoma ben shel chai ben shel mavushel v'chein hagon shmuel vosna. So the poskim nowadays, Moshe and Vosna, both say that on raw or certainly boiled carrots you would make a ber priadoma, and that is the minhag ha'olam. That's what we do. Okay, that's the end of Siman Reish Hey. Let's just do the okay.